like getting these games, man. I know I always talked about an end game to it and everything like that, you know. And as we, I would say, more plateau our collections. Pretty much, we come to the end. You know, we kind of start calming down on stuff we really want. You know, we know what we really want, and there's a lot of stuff in there. Like, you know, remember how we used to talk about getting collector's editions?
Yeah.
And like how collector's editions back in the day were on point, and nowadays it's like, man, unless they have a statue in there, you know, or whatever like that, it's cool. But like most of them are like, I just go back to that video of Joel when he got the Ease collector's edition, the Ease Origins, and how disappointed he was. Like, man, this is really worth it, man. So I stopped, and a lot of stuff takes up room and everything. So I kind of quit doing it. But
yeah, you see, when I moved, I had so many collector's editions, and I just like, you know what, it's time to let them go, man. Yeah. I was sitting around 200 or so collector's editions and statues, and a lot of stuff where I started seeing myself, I'm like, all right, you need to slow down, because I would buy them and it was content for my channel, but I had no place to put them. So they got boxed up and put back in the closet, you know, so I had to slow down buying those. And then you're right, when it comes to collector's editions, they don't have a lot of the cool stuff they used to have. Like I go back to, it was, let's see, Uncharted. I think it was 2. It might have been 2. I had it, and it was one of the best collector's editions I had ever had. It came with a statue in the inside, and it came like in an armoire. It was like a brown armoire, and you open it up, and it had the belt buckle that he wore, a metal belt buckle he wore from the game, and a statue and everything, a steel book for the game and everything. And it was just a really nice, well put together collector's edition. Those were worth it. But if you look at now what they come with a couple art cards, you know,
digital soundtrack,
a digital soundtrack. Yep. Molecular little displays. You're like, man, this ain't worth $150. Like that Turtles collector's edition they came out with, $149.
Was it worth
it? Man, you were paying for nostalgia, and they knew it. It was not worth it. And you can still find those things everywhere, you know, because people was like, all right, we're drawing the line here. You could have at least gave us all 4 of the Turtles in there as minifigures, you know, the new design for the game or whatever it was. You could have did something like that, but $150 for what they came in there is just it wasn't worth it, man. So
would you say from that point you kind of like you've been very selective on what you pick up, man? Because like it's a lot of money that goes into this when you buy those collector's editions, or just, you know, games in general. Like I remember you were telling me about your PS2 collection, like some of the games were still sealed. Like how many games are still sealed? Okay.
So it's my PS4 collection. Out of my PS4 collection, I got 240 games. And out of that 240 games, 200 of them are still sealed. You know, and the problem is I was buying to keep up with the Joneses. You would see, and that's so bad with the whole internet and social media. When you get into collecting and you start following different influencers, different YouTubers, or different pages like IGN,
a lot of different stuff.
I believe I called them out, but you start following any of these people, and they make you want to get the game because like you don't want to feel left out. But then what I found out was there's no reason I should buy a AAA game the day it comes out unless I'm playing it that day. Right. Now, if it's like me, you, Joel, and John, and we're going to play that game this weekend, I'm down with it because I'm going to play it with friends. I'm going to enjoy it. But if I'm not going to play it immediately, let it stay in the store. You know, if it's not a limited release game where they only made 500 copies, or something like that, let it stay there, and I'll save, guaranteed, I'll save $40 on that game in 3 or 4 months.
I agree with you, man. I really wanted to buy this game called Siberia, the new Siberia coming out. It's part 4. I forgot the subtitle name. And I was getting the PS4 version of it, but for some reason Amazon canceled making the PS4 version or whatever like that. So I kind of forgot about it. And then I think like a month and a half later, the PS5 version is going for like $30 now, and the price is getting even lower. So I'm like, hey, well, thank goodness I waited, because now I could get that version instead. But hopefully, me as an influencer, man, like when I do these videos on these games and everything like that, I'm really genuinely trying to like show people about good games. I think they're pretty cool that they probably should own. I know I do a lot of like niche, like indie type games. I don't really do too many AAA titles because everybody's talking about AAA titles. I've always tried to. I pretty much prided myself on talking about the games that were unknown that no one's talking about. That people get left out pretty much. I feel like if I was doing YouTube back when Hunting Ground came out, or I don't remember if YouTube was out back then, but remember the game Hunting Ground. If I was talking about Hunting Ground in a video, everybody would have bought that game, man, and then we would have had more copies in the mix. But yes. That game is still like just not many quantities made of it, and it's pretty still obscure and everything.
The games that you recommend, people buy them because they know they're good. It's the Reggie effect, right? That's a huge thing, man. I was watching one of your most recent videos, and I can't remember the name of the game. I have it saved. It's on my phone because I was watching the video from my phone.
Right.
But I can't remember offhand. But you'll tell me because you'll know, right? It was the Castlevania-esque game with the girl with the whip. But it's
Scarlet Symphony.
Yes, Scarlet Symphony. Exactly, Scarlet Symphony. I want the game, right? That game looks amazing. But you know what stopped me from buying it? It's only on the Switch. I want it on the PS4. I prefer.
Me too. Me too. I was like, dude, why isn't this on PS4? So I had bought that game. I got it for Christmas pretty much, and I was playing it. And I was like, man, this is actually a pretty fun game. This is good, but it would have been better if I was playing it on the PS4 controller. But you know.
Man, and I may still end up buying it, right? But it hurts my heart. I get this little burning feeling in my chest when I have to buy a Switch game. Because you remember, I got rid of it was close to 400 some Switch games when I moved, and that collection was outrageous. Out of all those games, maybe I would say 90% of them were still sealed, and I was like, this has gotten to a sickness at this point where I was just buying games where not even in a 6-month cycle, I bought almost 300 Switch games, within 6 months. But so I may still buy that game. I'm hoping that it will either drop on the PS4 or PS5. I know it's never coming to the Xbox. Like those type of games just never come to the Xbox, so I know I'll never get it there. But let's hope that PS4 at least gets one, because I'll still go back and buy it. But I've been the games that I've been really focusing on lately, or as of late, is games like that. The indie games, roguelike games, or RPG games like Chain of Echoes.
You don't feel like the addiction is coming back, or do you like the urge to buy like more? Do you ever feel it like with Switch games or anything like that?
No. Now I'm to the point now where I want to buy and play things that I'm going to play. I don't want things to just sit on the shelf anymore.
How do you? What would you tell someone who's? Oh, go ahead.
A game that you recommended, which really made me change my mind recently on how to get games, was Intrepid Izzy. So you recommended that game a long time ago. You've been talking about that game, and I had it in several different forms. I had it and never played it, but I just recently played it and couldn't put it down. I played that game for 8 hours straight until I beat it, got the platinum trophy, everything on it, and I was yearning for more. I was like, where's my next 8 hours?
Whoa.
Like, I was not done with that game, but it ended, and it left me wanting more. And that's what I'm looking for now. I'm looking for games like that, where I just can't put them down, and I want more. And before that, the last game was what was it?
Mass Effect?
No. It was the other one, kind of like Castlevania style.
Bloodstain?
No, not Bloodstain. It was the it's over here. It was my PS5. I just got the PS5 copy of it, but it was a show based off of it too.
Why can't I think of this?
You guys were telling me about it. And it's crazy that I always forget these games, man, the name of these games.
But while you're thinking of it, I wanted to tell you a game that made me not want to, like, after I beat the game, like I wanted more. I couldn't put the game down, was Ease 8. That's why I was telling you guys when I was playing it on the PS5. dude. I mean, like I only plan on playing for a couple of hours just to remember a couple of things. End up playing for hours, dude. That game is so good, man. It just sucks you in, and that's the type of games I like, man. I mean, the game's got to pull you in immediately, make you want to play
Yeah.
more, and and do all that stuff for you. But I did want to ask you this though, man. Like, do you think it's I know a lot of people are trying to keep up with the Joneses when it comes to collecting games, and you always have people like that, man. But do you think the investment part is worth it?
Um. So real quick, the name of the game was Record of Lotus War.
Oh, okay, that's right.
Okay, love that game. But when it comes to an investment for a game, AAA games are never a good investment.
Mhm.
Wait if you can. If you're not going to play that game that weekend and try to get through it relatively soon, you don't have to run out and buy it. Those games are $60 or $70. They have several million copies made. They're going to be readily available. Get them at a discount. And I'm not knocking if you buy it when it comes out, that's fine. I mean, you do what you want. It's your money. I will never knock you for that. But for me, I have way too many still games across the current generation: PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Switch. Not so much Switch. I only got like 4 games for Switch now. But a lot of these games are still sealed. And then when I look at it, those games I bought at like $60, the majority of them. And then you go and look at GameStop or Target or Walmart or whatever, those games are like $19.99 now. $40 I could have saved. And you do 40 times 100 games, that are still sealed. So the only way I would say, if you look at an investment side, games that are limited print, so 500, games that weren't, published, a lot of them weren't published because it was an obscure game. But you could also miss with that. So I will also say, don't chase, for profit, because you'll end up amassing a huge collection of games that isn't worth anything, right? So yes, it can be an investment, and yes, it could turn out good for you, but also, stay away from buying everything that comes out on release day. That's a major release, because
and also too, man, if you're buying games and you want them to have value, make sure that you don't pick up games that say online, physical games that say online only.
Yeah.
Oh my god, remember that game Mag on PS3?
Man, love Mag. Yes.
Mag was on point when it was online. Oh my god, that game was great. But when that game turned into a coffin, the physical game was it was nothing, dude. It's like, what the heck? So
it's basically going to turn into ET on Atari. People making them into coasters and just throwing them in the trash, because it literally is. There's no value in it, and but I do understand that that's the way that we're headed. But I want something tangible. I want something physical in the hand that has value to it. Because I don't want to go and spend my money on something that I literally can't use because they shut the servers down,
right?
Whatever the case may be, or if my internet goes out, you just never know. I want to be able to put it in and play it without internet. There's nothing wrong.
Yeah. Do you think addiction for like buying games will stop as as mainstream like companies stop making physical games?
Nope. People through history, people have been addicted to many things, and it's just video games have become mainstream enough that we have more people addicted to it, I think. But people will always collect. I know when I was coming up, it started for me, where I really started to see it was Beanie Babies. Beanie Babies and Garbage Pail Kids cards.
Dude,
I was
those stories again.
Ooh. Yeah, man. People were getting ridiculous, man. And that's when I noticed, like, wow, people collect this type of stuff. And then YouTube happened, right? I saw it a little bit on MySpace back in the day, not nowhere near where it's at now. The people on MySpace, those are the cool people. They'd be like, here's my game room. It's like, wow, you got a game room? Like, I wish.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, it seems like you go on YouTube, everybody has a game room, everybody has a man cave, has a space to be able to display their stuff, and it's just going to get bigger.
Yeah,
so it's gonna happen. It's gonna continue to happen, and that'll never change.